The world of the spirit is deterritorialized. It holds in one hand the complexities of justice and injustice throughout space and time. And so here, in the earliest of countries, here we can return to the question of judgment. For the polis needs an epidectic rhetoric so that we might know, justly act, rightly make. But truth turns. Truth requires forgiveness, does it not? Truth requires carelessness, for otherwise we will never know the truth we do not seek. Walking is looking. Walking is knowing. Wandering is neither. Wandering utilizes the foreign, the unconscious, the unconcealed. Wandering is the carelessness of walking between poets and children. Either way, I must stress that you not mistake the wanderer for the idiot, or uncertainty for stupidity. I seek the glass eyeball of Benjamin Tillman, Pitchfork Ben, Governor, Senator, Murder Tillman. That body that degrades not with the body. I seek it, but I dare not search for it. It is the truth that is equally untruth. It is in a box in a drawer before us, waiting to be found. With the dead, we focus too often on le dire. We do not suppose that le dit can also apply, that the dead speak to us. Le dire et le dit, connaît et savoir. The key to the door is a glass eyeball, blue in color. Ghost, freed from the body, from being, need us, the living. We came forth from the till so as to look at the other, to linger with the other. Sixu tells us that souls are already mature. I like to think that instead they are still learning as we are learning with us, through us, that ghosts swerve. And maybe this is how we judge, with them present in our period, looking forward, inclining together, thinking, not knowing. I want to walk with Heidegger's Geist in a way that is wandering to us both. Heidegger's Geist on my one side, my two sons on the other. The four of us holding hands, walking until the smell of boxwood overcomes us and we stop. Heidegger's Geist, interestingly enough, likes to point out the wabi-sabi to my children, and they listen to him, cling to him. They like how intensely he wants them to understand Heidegger. The Spirit calls on us to judge, but, as Derrida says, it is not a figure, not a metaphor. Heidegger, at least, would contest any rhetoricizing reading. One could attempt to bring the concepts of rhetoric to bear here only after making sure of some proper meaning for one or other of these words: spirit, flame, in such and such a determinate language, in such and such a text, in such and such a sentence. We are far from that, and everything comes back to difficulty. I ask, Which Heidegger? The Heidegger I know is still learning. The Anna Calhoun Clemson I know is still learning. Even Calhoun and Tillman are still learning. We have so much learning and unlearning to do together. Omniscience is an impossibility because knowledge, as Sixu says, is cumulative, building, churning, breaking, rolling. I like to think that in death the spirit finally comes to understand the other. And it asks us to do likewise, as Ronell says, as the operator who acknowledges the blindness of the other. To realize also that we are the other is inside of us. This othering is where Ronell finds the mother in Heidegger, the mother in Freud. The spirit is freed from the body, freed from quotation marks, from being. The spirit, the Geist, belongs between ellipses. For these, ellipses ghost, ellipses ghast, ellipses have no beginning and no end, ellipses. I like to think that the spirit calls us to judge it. The ghost of John C. Calhoun wakes Anna in the night and tells her to rethink her knowing, doing, making. He nudges us off our point of stasis. He calls on us to change. Otherwise, as Sixu says, tragedy is all the more tragic in that it is sober and elliptical. So which Heidegger? Which Geist? We must judge. We must keep writing over the truth, over history. We must keep writing and rewriting, renaming, building, rewriting monuments. And in judging what we perceive, we judge ourselves. For we are but Tillman, elliptical, repeating.